I am fine, thank you, and excited to see you all. If you're seeing my face for the first time, my name is Iwam Tali. And on this channel, we talk about mostly studying abroad, working abroad, legit jobs abroad, and just traveling in general. And that's why you'll probably see a lot of my vlogs from my various travels. So if that excites you, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. We are on the road to 100,000 subscribers, and I want you to be part of that family. If you are returning, thank you so much for always supporting your girl. And yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you guys here. I don't take it for granted. Thank you for being part of the family. So without much further ado, today we are back to Yale University. If you do not know what is Yale University or where Yale University is, you are probably hiding under a rock. So Yale University is one of the most prestigious universities in the world. In fact, in the United States, it is one of the top 3 universities in the world. And if you have been watching my travel vlogs, you must have seen my recent video where I shared with you guys a tour of the Yale University campus right here in the US. And after I had shared that video, there's some of you who came and they asked me, hey Eva, how do I get into Yale? How do I get my child into Yale? What is the process? What is the school fee like? And that's why I decided to do this follow-up video. So as I've mentioned, Yale University is one of the top 3 universities in the US, one of the top 5 in the world, and it is what they call an Ivy League school. So there are 8 Ivy League schools in the world, and they are 8 of them in the US. Right here, they're all based in the Northeast. So we have Brown University, Columbia University, we have Cornell University, Dartmouth College, Harvard University, Princeton University, the University of Pennsylvania, and Yale University. So all these Ivy League universities are private, and they are all located in the Northeast. The Ivy League universities, so all the Ivy League universities are private universities. They're all based here in the US, in the northeastern part of the US, and that basically means they don't come cheap. Because you can imagine, if private university is expensive already, you must have heard of all the student loans everyone in America complains about. You can imagine, especially if you are an international student, it gets even more and more expensive. And that's why today I have decided to do this video. I'm going to show you guys exactly what the requirements for getting into Yale are, and what if I don't have money, Eva, what happens? You want to stick to the very end of this video. So generally, as I've mentioned, Yale University is one of the top universities in the world, and top 3, one of the top 3 in the United States. What that means, therefore, is that getting into the university doesn't come easy. You have to fight your way there, because you know, when something is valuable, it is scarce. Generally, when it is scarce, it means it is valuable. So just going by the acceptance rates, so for example, this year there was about 60,000 people that applied for admission into Yale University, and only 2,300 were accepted. That means the acceptance rate is about 6.5%. But who said that if the acceptance rate is only 6%, you can't be one of them? So, and you guys, if you haven't been on this channel long enough, you know by now, here we only look at the glass half full. We never look at it as half empty. So if the acceptance rate is 6.54% only, we are not going to look at the 94% that don't get accepted. We are going to find out, how do we find ourselves into this 6.54%? Because guys, remember, here on this channel, my main goal is to give you plugs of how can you travel outside of this country, or of your country, to any other part of the world without having been scammed, without having to pay too much money. How can you study abroad without having to pay school fee if you're not able to afford it? How are you able to get admission and stuff like that? So I will start off by saying that one thing, so I actually got a chance to go and visit the university, guys. You have seen that video. And one thing that I learned throughout my visit is that Yale University is a what can I say? They don't have any bias for who comes into the university. They don't care whether you are a Kenyan, whether you are a Somalian, whether you are a South African, whether you're an American, whether you're Palestinian, whether you're a Syrian, whether you're Russian, they don't care. So it operates on two main policies, what they call needs blind admission and needs-based financial scholarship. What does that mean? When they are admitting you into the university, they don't care whether you can meet the school fees requirements or not. It is based purely on your performance and purely on the other qualities they are looking for in a candidate. So as much as they are a private university, it means that if Yale University, you apply to get into Yale University and you meet all the other factors, they don't care whether you have money or not. You have seen, for example, I don't know about other countries, but I know like in Kenya, for example, when you go to a private university and you go and ask, or even any private institution, and you go and ask, hey, I want to bring my child into this university, or I want to join this institution, what are the requirements? The first thing they give you is the fee structure. That is not the case in Yale. When you ask for admission into Yale, in fact, this tuition will be the last conversation you'll ever have with them. They want you to get in first because they have what they call needs blind admission policy. As long as you qualify, you get admitted. They don't care whether you have money or not. Another policy by which Yale University operates on is they do not want any of their students to take a loan in order to study because they believe education is a basic human right. That therefore means if I get admission, that is step number one, basic requirements. Do I meet the needs? Yes. Therefore, Eva gets admitted. Now, generally what would happen if it was a private university in other parts of the world, Eva has been admitted, yes. Now the next headache I have is looking for school fee. And I've seen the same thing happen in Kenya. Very, very intelligent students are wasting their lives because they could not afford to pay for their school fee, or their parents could not afford to pay for their school fee. In Yale, that's not an issue. If you have the brains and you get admission, you don't have to worry about that. And you don't have to worry about selling your cow and your dog and your cat. Once you get there, they do not even believe in people taking loans to study. Once you get admission, the next question is, how much money does you and your family, how much money are they able to raise, your family, for example? So Eva has been admitted. How much is their income as a family? What is their annual income as a family? So they have different bands. So they'll say, we have 2,000 people have admitted. So they group you into categories. Okay, we have 2,000 people. How many of these students have a salary of between, okay, their parents, their family income is between 0 to 75,000 US dollars. So you're put in one category per annum. 75,000 US dollars is how much? Let me see in Kenya shillings, the exchange rate today. 75 USD to Kenya money, to Kenya shillings. That's about 11 million. So if your family earns 11.3 million Kenya shillings per year, which comes to 11, let's see how much that is per month. 11,340,000 divided by 12. If your family earns less than 945,000 Kenya shillings a month, guys, did you hear me? $75,000 a year. If that's the income your family earns in a year, you automatically pay zero tuition, zero accommodation, zero food, zero school fees, zero nothing. You do not have to pay school fees. to study in Yale if your monthly salary is, or your family income is 945,000 Kenya shillings per month and below. So if your income is 75,000 US dollars annual income and below, and you are admitted to Yale, you study free accommodation, free food, free books, free everything. You do not pay a single cent. That is how Yale operates, because they, once you are admitted, now they check your family income. They check how much you're able to pay and how much you cannot pay. They check how much scholarship they can give you and how much you can raise as a student. So if they realize your annual income is 75,000 and below, you do not have to pay a coin. Guys, are we together? Therefore, that means if you have a bright student in your family or in your friendships or wherever, or if you are the bright person who is watching me, do not sit at home when these opportunities exist. Remember, Yale is a private university. Therefore, they don't owe nobody no explanations. Why do we have so many Kenyans here? Why do we have so many Nigerians here? Why do we have so many, oh, you're using our public funds to educate people from Kenya? Like, they don't have to answer anybody, because it is a private institution. Unlike, let's say, the University of New Haven, which is a public university that is answerable to taxpayers, and they can only award so many people scholarships, for example, which I'm going to come to in a bit. Guys, I'm going to show you how, not now, maybe in another video, I'm going to share with you details of how you can get scholarships for your children, even those who are in high school. If that is something you're interested in, you can let me know in the comment section below and I'll do a full video. So what that means, therefore, since not a lot of people actually can make 75,000 US dollars a year, then it means a lot of people are going to fall into this category of getting free studies at Yale University. So that means getting into Yale University is not easy. And that also means that you cannot wait until when you have finished high school and then start preparing to enter into Yale. So from what I gathered during my research for this particular video, as I was visiting Yale University, you cannot wait until you are done with high school to start thinking of getting into Yale. So if there's anybody out there who's watching this video, if you are a parent, you are a guardian, you are a brother, you are a sister, you are the student, and you're looking to get into Yale, and generally these these conditions apply to all the other Ivy League universities. So generally that means if you qualify to enter into Yale, you most probably will also qualify to enter into any one of the Ivy League universities. So step number one. So one of the things you can consider is the academic. So remember the academic part, what Yale is interested in. They're not just interested in how did you perform in KCSE or in your IG or in whatever, I don't know, high school curriculum you're doing. They're interested that since your first year, how have you progressively been performing? Have you been excelling and getting better every year? Like in Form 1, you did better. In Form 2, you did best. In Form 3, you even did best, better. And Form 4, you even did even so much better. They want to see that progressive performance. Another thing they're interested in, so for example, I don't know about education system in other countries, but I know like in Kenya, when you start out in Form 1, you're doing like, I think 15 subjects. By the time you're finishing Form 4, you have dropped and you have like 9 subjects. But you have a choice. For example, you can choose to do all the sciences, or you can choose to do one science or do two sciences. So what Yale University looks at is when you are given the choice to do 3 sciences, for example, are you the one who chickened out and did only 2? Or you're the one who dropped all the 3 sciences? Or like, how do you, they are more interested in the candidate that picks the harder, the harder option or the harder alternative, the ones that everyone is running away from, because it shows that indeed this candidate is prepared for college level education in Yale. Yeah. So you have to be like at the top percentile in your school. Like you have to be really at the top academically. So that is number one. So even as you pick your courses from Form 1 or Year 1 or wherever you are, you have to start thinking about how am I going to academically prove myself that I am ready for college education in Yale. Then the number two way you can start nurturing yourself or nurturing your kid is if your kid is pursuing or you are pursuing any extracurricular activity, it's not about pursuing 50 extracurricular activities. What Yale is interested in is, okay, Eva has decided to pursue debate. I need to be the best debater Kenya has ever heard or the world has ever heard. They are more interested in whatever extracurricular activity you decide you're doing, pursue it to the very end, like be the best. If you decide, they even have athletic scholarships. So let's say if you decide you're going to be a basketballer, don't be in basketball and rugby and soccer and you're not the best in any of them. If it is basketball, be the best basketballer. Like be the one that everybody is looking for. If you're going for those high school tournaments, you're the one who's taking your school to national level. You're the one, if you're playing rugby, you're the one who's representing your country in it's called rugby. What is that happened in Paris the other day? Was it the World Rugby Sevens? Like you need to be that person who's like at the top percentile in that sport. If it is athletics, pursue it to your best. Don't just, this time you're running, next time you're not running, this time you're playing basketball, next time you're doing rugby. Like you're not known for, be that person who is known, like your school knows if it's athletics. If Eva is sick, we know our school is gonna lose out. If it is rugby, the national team comes for you. Like you haven't even finished high school, but in your national school, you are the one who is playing for them. And guys, I'll give you an example of some of the places you can pursue. So right now, for example, I know schools in Kenya are on holiday. Children are at home for the next, 3 months. And what are parents doing? Most of them have left their children to be on the phone and to be watching TV the whole time. How about if your child is good in debate, for example, get your child a debate coach. If your child is good in public speaking, get your child a public speaking coach. If your child is good in basketball, enroll them at Vikapu. Guys, I don't know if you're aware, especially if you're based in Nairobi, I was surprised the other day when one of my nephews came visiting from the US and I asked him, so what are you here for? I mean, because his entire family is here in the US. So I was like, what are you doing in Kenya? He said, we are here for the NBA Africa chapter. And I'm like, excuse me, we have NBA in Africa? Yes, we have NBA in Africa. Like the NBA you see in the US, we have an African branch. And actually one of my son's friends has been in South Africa for almost a month, courtesy of NBA Africa. We have Vikapu, where they train people. We have Phoenix. Like there's a ton of these coaching things. Take your child to them. Don't keep your children in the houses. And guys, I know these things don't come cheap, but trust me, whatever money you're saving now, you're going to pay it for university fees. So you may as well spend the money now and let your child get a scholarship. Something else you can consider pursuing is basic things like, languages. Yeah, Yale is very big on foreign languages. If you speak a foreign language, then it increases your chances of getting admission into Yale as well, and they look at that. So instead of keeping your child in the house, take your child to Alliance. Most of the major cities I know in Africa and Asia and the Caribbean, they have like these language institutes. I know in Kenya, for example, you have the Confucius Institute. You can take your child to go and learn Chinese, and they're not expensive, guys. They are not expensive, those institutions. We have Alliance Française right in the CBD. We have they call it Goethe Institute for German. Take your kids, and don't take your kids to Mwitu language schools. Those are funny ones. You're on the top floor of which buildings, G Menti House. Take your kids to those renowned language schools. Don't take them to some shady corner somewhere, because no one's going to recognize that paper. So take them like to Alliance, is known, it's supported by the French, it's actually a branch of the French embassy. Goethe Institute is part of the German embassy. So take them to reputable, Confucius Institute is by the Chinese government. Take your kids to those, what do we call them? Reputable college schools. Coding is everywhere. Toeni watoto from TikTok. If they're on TikTok, unless your child is creating content, they have no business of being on TikTok the whole day unless they are creating content. You have to start molding your kids. Guys, in fact, I was speaking to one of the people I won't mention, and they actually told me here in the US, we have some funds, some scholarship that are set aside for minority. And just because of this skin color, you are considered a minority. And if nobody takes up that scholarship, it just sits there. And it gets rolled over to the following year because nobody comes for these scholarships. And guys, let me tell you, it's not just about academics. You can have those extracurricular activities. Some of you, your child wants to take part, I don't know, in drama festivals. You're like, no, kamama, svika, daddy, go and read. Read to go where? Because everybody's going to get an A, but what is going to differentiate your child is that your child was the best actor in drama festival. Your child was the best athlete, and you're there telling your child to read. To read to go where? Read and go where? You had the president, the deputy president of Kenya himself. He said, graduate and go and work in mjengo, hakuna kazi. It is these extracurricular activities that are paying people. Go and look at TikTok. All those influencers who have 1 million followers, they are now the ones who are doing advertisements because they are comedians. They didn't go to any comedy school. And some of you, your children are very good comedians. They crack a joke in your house. Unakasirika, uko na machungu, you are so sad. You start telling your kid, Ebu, you become serious. Iso jokes nizanini. That is what is paying people, guys. There are no jobs these days. It's those things that you people are not taking seriously. The things your kid wants to take art in school. And you're like, unaenda wapi na art, ebu go and do chemistry. To take where? To take where, my dear? Your child wants to do nutrition. You're like, is it called home science or is home economics? I don't know what they call them. Hizo courses za kupika na kushona manguo. And you're like, no, don't do, go and do sijui math. To take where? Let your child do that home economics course. They will finish high school. They know how to bake. They know how to cook. They know how to make wedding gowns. You guys saw the other day in JKIA, somebody flew in with a gown from Kenya, no, from the US for their wedding. And they have been charged tax. Their wedding gown was detained at JKIA by customs. Because Zakayo wants gowns to be made in Kenya. Even if you're an American and you're coming to wed in Kenya, you are not going to buy your gown from America. If you want to wed in Kenya, you buy the gown in Kenya. That is the new Kenyan policy. You are not allowed to get into the country with anything worth more than $500 total. Yani mzigo yako yote. Like for example, I flew Emirates and I have my total weight. I was given an allowance for 23 kg suitcases. Plus my son has 223 kg suitcases. Plus hand luggage of 7 kg. Able to find a US hesabu. 23 times 4 is how much? Let's do that math. 23 times 4. That is 92 plus 14. 92 plus 14. 106. We have 106 kg allowance. But guess what, guys? We won't use even 5 kg because who is ready to pay tax to Zakayo? Because customs won't let you in with anything worth more than $500 total. So the question is, if even coming into the country, like you have all this baggage allowance that you can't even use. If it was during the previous regime, I can tell you I would have shopped the whole world. I would have shopped like crazy. But because of the new policy, you can't. So Emirates is going to benefit from our luggage, because we can't really buy anything now with that limit in terms of what you can bring into the country. And that means more work for people who can do stuff with their hands. If you're into, because that's what most people bring into the country. Like, I mean, I would have brought like towels, I would have brought clothes, I would have brought shoes, I would have brought, just stuff for the house. Because, I mean, these guys have really nice quality stuff. I would have really brought a lot of, like bath, they're called what, like shower gels, and just a lot of this stuff, which unfortunately now we can't bring because Zakayo. So my point is, some of the courses that we take for granted and we think, or some of those extracurricular activities that we keep telling our children to refrain from, is what is going to make the difference if they can't make it to Yale University or not. Something else, leadership. Something else that Yale University looks out for is leadership. Does your child, or does you as the applicant, have the personality to become a leader in your field, or even just a global leader? Yeah, so they are interested in building a community of leaders. So some of you, your child is even selected to be the head boy or head girl, or I don't know, they call them class president or school president, and you're like, no, I want my child to read. I still ask, to read and go where? Please let your children be. If your child has the personality of a leader, let your child be. In fact, I can tell you for free, all these leaders you see in, like for example, look at the Kenyan parliament, for example. All these people you see who are in politics, all of them, they did not become leaders after they had finished university or after they had finished and started working. These people were leaders right from when they were in primary school. They are the ones who are challenging teachers. They are the ones who are challenging fellow students. Me, I remember Kina Babu Owino. For as long as Babu Owino was in University of Nairobi, I remember seeing him on TV engaging police in running battles, like for as long as I remember all these leaders. I remember Kina Kajwang, the late. I remember Kina Raila. For me, as long as I've been alive, these guys have always been on our screens. They didn't just, in fact, the only person who I started seeing is, what's his name? The deputy president. Is the only one I started seeing the other day. Even Zakayo himself used to lead chicken sellers on the streets. Like, he's the one who used to be like the boss of chicken sellers. So don't think that your child is going to form leadership qualities in another world. It's in this world. Characters don't change that much. It's just a matter of being in the right environment, and it nurtures and brings out who we really are. So please let your children be. If your child wants to be a musician, let your child sing. If your child can dance. Guys, do you know I met somebody who is on a scholarship? In fact, a Kenyan. I hope, unfortunately, she's not yet 18. I would have brought her here on the channel. She's actually here on a scholarship because of dancing. Guys, who knew? She's a student here in Connecticut because of dancing. There's also another one I was introduced to. She's here in Connecticut High School. She's 16 for, she's here for sports. I don't remember which sport she plays, but I'm still trying to convince the mother if she can come here and share her testimony with you guys. But yeah, she's in high school. All of them are in high school. There's another friend of mine. I hope he will also accept to come here on the channel. He actually came here on a full scholarship at Penn State University, another Ivy League university, and full scholarship, and studied in Kenya, normal 844, came to study here in the US, Penn State University, full scholarship, and now he works for Instagram, guys. Can you believe it? Dude works for Instagram. I'm hoping he agrees to come to the channel as well. Last but not least, guys, once you've already done all this groundwork, how do you get into Yale? We have this, they call them SAT or SCT exam. These are sort of like, they're not like TOEFL, they're like, I don't know what to call them. I don't know. Okay, they are like exam that test it's not your aptitude. They test how sharp you are. And like the SAT, the total you can get is 1,600. That is the highest score anybody can get in SAT is 1,600. For ACT, the highest you can get is 36. So I was going through the Yale acceptance records. You know, that's the beauty with these institutions. They don't hide anything. Everything is publicly available. So I got a chance to go through their acceptance rates for the last 2 years, 2024 academic year, 23 academic year, and 22 academic year. And something that I noted, all the students that were admitted into Yale in those 3 years, their SAT scores was 1,580. Guys, 1,580 out of 1,600. That is like the top 10 percentile. That means you have to be like really here, no jokes, which is a good thing. And that means this is a very, very fair system. If your child is sharp, your child is bright, nothing should stop you from pursuing an Ivy League level of education. And then those who did the SAT exam, the highest score you can get is 36. And majority of those who admitted to Yale had 35. Guys, that shows you the caliber. And guys, those who watched my video of the tour, I started my tour of Yale University, the campus tour at the library. Guys, just walking, having walked into that university library, I was feeling so intelligent, guys. Can you imagine walking into a building with like more than 4 million books, guys, 4 million. And then the building is beautiful, it smells good, the architecture is awesome, and then you know you're just surrounded by geniuses. Guys, I was feeling so special, like I felt so clever just walking. Like I would see those students and I'm just like, oh my God, like these guys, these are all A materials. Like everywhere you turn, you know, you're just dealing with the creme de la creme of academics. And the beauty is, it's not just, so we had like, so Yale is known for law, humanities, acting and drama, and then they also had like a culinary institute, they have a nursing school and all that. So imagine like everybody in those departments, if it was like the culinary institute, like those are like the best chefs in the world. If it's drama, you're the best drama people. If it's law, it's the best lawyers. Guys, I don't know what is more important than that for an educational institution. Like I walked into their library, I walked on that campus, and I was like, you feel that aura of, I don't know, you guys, do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, you know, like the way if you walked into a business class, like if you, guys, tafuteni pesa. So there's this Emirates flight that goes between New York and Dubai. Hiyo ndege ni ya ghorofa. It is a double story aeroplane. So down here, it is, you guys, so I even showed you, like, first of all, the entrances were different. The entrance for business class is different from the entrance for my cattle class. Now, even the seating, like the business and first class, they stay on the top floor of the aeroplane. The rest of you guys who had little money, you stay on the bottom. So you see, like the same way when you go to a business class of such an aeroplane, what is the business class where you walk through the business class to get to economy? When they are on their own, hapo kwa ghorofa at the top floor, it's like the way you walk there, like you just, like there's an aura of money, of luxury, of people who've made it. So it's the same feeling I had walking in Yale. It's like you're walking among the Einsteins of the world. And even the books that are there, it's like those original manuscripts that were written by, I don't know, all those people you read, like in physics, the theory of relativity, the theory of what is this thing? When an apple drops from a tree is called what? Gravity, the law of gravity. Like the people who wrote those books, those original books were in that library. Guys, you just feel like, oh my God, this is where I need to be. Like, you just become clever. I felt so clever being among clever people in a beautiful space. Everyone is so bright. Everyone is so sharp. Like, hey guys, hata nimechoka. So in short, it's possible to study in Yale and money is not a problem. You come as you are because the Yale University operates a needs-blind admissions policy and a needs-based financial policy. Kama uko na pesa, unalipa. If you have money, you pay. If you can't afford, you will still study. The school has tons of scholarships. It is a private institution. Money is not their problem. It is not cheap. It is one of the most expensive universities. So the rich people pay so that the poor ones can study. I am complete. Let me read your comments and then I will call it a day. How do you go about it? Comfort. I think I've answered your question. Please, can you help my child with the admission? I have just talked about it. Nancy Esilaba, just go to the website yale.edu and apply. Nancy, just to say I'm greatly impressed by what you are doing and to know that you are from my home country makes me proud of you. Keep up the oh, thank you. That is very kind. Oshoy David is saying nice job. Thank you. Esther is saying yes. If you are Black and leave, you will get admission. If you are Muslim, you will get yes. They admit everybody. They don't care who you are, what you believe in, how you look. They don't care. Wangare is saying great job, Eva. Mackendy here. Just came from admissions office and the info you're giving is 100% correct. Asante for educating us. Yes. Apologies for interrupting the live with my random call. Solange Pretty is saying thank you, my dear. You are welcome. Kabanga Ann is saying thank you, dear Eva. You are welcome. So guys, that's the process of getting yourself into Yale. Start the preparation now. And guys, on my next video, let me know. So I have 2 videos I'm thinking. I have 2 people I need to interview. Let me know if you're interested. So there's this lady. I want her to share with us her interracial love story. How she met her guy. Remember here we talk about legit ways to move abroad. And we had said marriage, love is one of them. So if you're wondering, Eva, how does interracial fit into your channel? Yes, we actually have an entire playlist which is about interracial dating, interracial marriages. If you guys want to hear that story, let me know in the comment section below. I also need to interview the parent of the student I was telling you about, the one who's here on an athletic scholarship. She's a high schooler. She's 16. She's here in Connecticut on an athletic scholarship. I am still trying to convince the mother to come to the live. But guys, she may come on the live, but you might not see her face. No, not everybody wants to be seen in public. But as long as she gives us the information, we are happy. We don't care too much. We are happy to see your face. But if you don't see your face, we will accept. You know, they say half a loaf is better than none. So we are interested in the information. So keep praying and hoping that she accepts to come onto the channel. So those are the 2 interviews I'm looking to do in the next couple of days. And then I need to interview another lady. So if you're interested in coming to the US as a nurse and maybe you pursued a different degree, you want to stay here, keep it locked. I'm going to interview another lady in New York who studied zoology, or was it biology, in Kenya. And within 1.5 years, she came to the US. 1.5 years, she did her nursing and graduated in 1.5 years in nursing. And now she is doing amazing, leading an awesome life. So guys, if you're interested in that, also let me know in the comment section below and I'll share you those interviews. As usual, guys, if this video was helpful to you, you know what you need to do. Leave a sweet comment below, share the video. I will see you on the next one. Bye.